welcome to this overcast, slightly rainy, what we today, Thursday morning. I'm going to do a thing that I'd like to show you, which I think is one of my favourite things to barbecue. It's called spicy Moo Ping skewers, and it always makes me laugh because in Thai, moo refers to pig and not cow that you'd think it would, and the ping is barbecue, so it's basically barbecued pork on skewers. So I'm going to show you what I need for the first part, which is the marinade, which is ideally overnight, and then I'll post in this video the part that you barbecue, and hopefully do another video to follow with the barbecuing part. So anyway, let's get on with it. So first thing you're going to need, and if you haven't got one of these, I strongly advise there's no substitute. I know food processors and all that, everybody loves to whop it in a food processor, but you cannot beat a mortar and pestle, because it just brings a different texture and all the flavour out of the ingredients, and after all that's what we want from the ingredients, all the flavour out. So as far as ingredients go, this is the list. So this is a bunch of fresh coriander. We don't want the leaves, but what we do want is the roots. They've got actually more flavour than the leaves, and as I say, we'll chop that and you'll see what I do with that. Let's put that there. The other thing we need, this is an adapted recipe which originally was taught at the Waitrose UK cookery school. I've adapted it slightly with a few other things. Ketchup mani, which is a sweeter version of soy sauce. So we need some of that. We need some light soy sauce. We need some oyster sauce. I hope you can see all these. We need some runny honey, a little bit of that. And then for the final stage before the barbecuing and the serving, we need some fish sauce, but not for this part. We need coriander seeds. We need some white peppercorns. And again, these I should really replace these because I've had these for about 2 or 3 years. Probably lost some of their punch. But yeah, white peppercorns, not black peppercorns or green peppercorns or any of the rest, but white peppercorns. So we need some of those. We need some sunflower oil or high temperature, cooking oil, that sort of thing. We need some corn flour, any corn flour, just to thicken the marinade. We also need, it's to your preference if you don't like garlic, but ideally 5 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic. Some chili peppers, again, depending on your heat, but Thai dishes tend to be fairly tangy, shall I say. I've just got a normal little chili there. And then what I thought I'd do is a little bit of deviation to this. The recipe ideally requires pork with a little bit of fat in between the skewers. So you put a bit of pork and a bit of pork fat between each piece of pork to keep it nice and moist. But this stuff here is Iberian pork, so it's Spanish pork pluma. I'll hold it a little bit nearer so you can see it. You can get it through Spanish wholesalers wherever you are in the world, or the internet probably. But again, Costco, I'm a big Costco buyer. They do it very reasonably priced. I mean, this will do us certainly more than enough for 2 people on the skewers, and it's £10.50p in the UK, which it isn't a lot of money these days when it comes to food. Let's face it. I think that's basically it. So as I say, what we do is follow the recipe, and we pound down the ingredients in the mortar and pestle. So let's start with the garlic. So 5 cloves of garlic. This will all be down at the end of the video. I hope you can hear me today. It's still a bit windy and I've had to place the camera further from the microphone, but I'll try and clean the sound up so you can hear me. Again, as always, any questions, do drop us a post and ask me why I did this or why I did that, and I'll try and explain if I know. But yeah, it's all good fun. And as I say, this is probably one of my favourite items to put on the barbecue on skewers. It really is good. And I like chicken satays, but this comes a close second, I'd say. So I'm just trying a new setup with my cameras, but I'm not getting on very well to get everything in to show you, which is the name of the game. If you can't see what I'm doing, it's not good making a video, really, is it? But hopefully we'll clean it up and you'll be able to see what's what. Okay, so that's the 5 cloves of garlic in there. So I always sometimes put a pinch of salt in as well to act as an abrasive, but this is such a heavy metal and pork mortar and pestle that it bashes it all together really well. Even though we're in the fresh air, the smell is already quite good, I can tell you. So you want them look what's next. Right, the peppercorns next. So where's our white peppercorns? We need 10 white peppercorns, not a lot. But again, surprising how strong they are. I'll probably put slightly more than 10 in. Right, that's about a dozen, I'd say. So again, mash that. Clean off your tool like this so it all goes down into the water. There's a pestle, I always get mixed up between the two. Right, so we've done that now. 3 coriander stalks. Again, how big is a stalk? You ask yourself that question, right? It's not the exact science of the other thing. You don't want any leaves in it, that's the main thing. So we've got some here. Let's chop those off. There we go. 2, 4. So a few more, because these aren't very big stalks. Right, I think we've got about 6 or 7 stalks there. Let's just chop those up a bit. Very aromatic dish, I must say. Looks a bit, yuck in the actual marinade when you see it. It really does a good job. Right, I won't show you that, but I'll show you at the end. So we've got that far. We've got our coriander seeds. We've got our coriander stalks, our peppercorn, and our cloves. Next thing is a teaspoon of coriander seeds, which are here. Teaspoon. There we go. So good. Crush them up a bit. Something quite nice about bashing away. Thinking of your least favourite political parties. Probably great tomorrow. Just get some more lovely aromas coming off the coriander seeds. Right, next we want 5 tablespoons of oyster sauce. I'm going to do a couple. And, right. 1, 2. I'm going to do 3, and then the other couple I'm going to make up with a little bit of soy and the ketchup Marnie, just for a little bit of sweetness. It can be a little bit bitter. So we had 3, that's 4. And then we're going to have one of ketchup Marnie. That's 5. That's it. And then we want, you can see, still not blocking the food. And then we want, how much honey? We want a tablespoon of clear honey. Honey's wonderful stuff. The sauces, browning meat, all sorts of it's a natural product, so it's always nice to use something natural. Right, let's give that a swirl. And while I'm doing this, I've just noticed on my recipe list I forgot to bring out the brown sugar. So I'll just pause the video. I might do a slight clip, but I'll just nip in and get some sugar because we do need some brown sugar. Okay, been in and I've got some brown sugar. You can use soft, got a soft sugar, but you can use light or dark. In this case, if you've got some light, you want a tablespoon of that, approximately, something like that. I think it's all the wet and dry ingredients, so just give that a final pounding up. Looks like it's going to rain pretty soon, hopefully it's got the camera in the open air, although I'm undercover here in the shop. That's smelling good already. Right. So, I'll attempt to hold that up to the camera so you can see it. Usually I've got 2 cameras, but hopefully you can see that. It's quite thick already. It says here to further then add 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, which I've forgotten about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 tablespoons of corn flour. I think that all sounds a lot to me, but it's to get it to cling to the meat, basically, the corn flour. Really does stick to the meat and do its job of marinating it, really. 1, 2, 2.5. Split the difference. Okay, finally pounding up with a spoon, mixing up that bit. Lightens the colour of the corn flour. Also, I suppose the corn flour does the tenderises the pork, like it would do beef, or whether it protects it from the heat thing of it. Right, okay, so we're there on that, definitely. I haven't forgotten anything, hopefully. And then the next stage is the pork itself, which, as I say, is this Iberian, it's called pork pluma. If you're looking for it in the online supermarkets or wherever, it is superb stuff. I mean, it's like the Wagyu of beef. It's just got that fat content that really makes it not dry out. It's juicy. And whenever I see it, I buy it and freeze it. You can't always get it. It's like all ingredients, are stocked widely. It can sometimes be difficult to source. You could see, if I open that up, it's 2 pieces, the amount of fat in that. It's about 25% fat. Now, obviously, you don't want too much fat, but you want enough to make the skewers juicy. So, I mean, you're supposed to cut it into strips. I'll just take the obvious points of, I'll make that one strip and cut that apart. This one strip. See the nice little bits of fat on there, and then we'll do another strip here. So it's like almost like belly pork, really, with that fat. And so you probably don't want all that. We'll trim a little bit off. Yeah. So we trim that much fat off, left a little layer on there. So again, we'll cut that up into skewer-sized pieces. Okay. So this, again, we've got quite a lot on here. Hopefully you can see this. Let's move these bottoms so you can see better. Right, okay, some towels. So a little bit of fat there, we'll get rid of that. A little bit there. So you don't want big chunks of fat, but you want slivers if you like. It will render down. I mean, obviously you could put this straight onto skewers marinated, but then you've got to basically store it in the fridge. It takes up more room or whatever on the skewer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag to marinate. As I say, best minimum of 4 hours, but ideally overnight. And we're going to have this tomorrow, so it'll be overnight for us. In that case, right? Right. Well, what you should never do there, cut towards your hand with a knife. But as yet, I've still got 10 fingers, so all these years on cooking. Okay. You can hear the rain on the roof of my aluminium room. the camera's not in, so carry on for a minute. Hopefully I won't have to refilm it. Right, so there's all our pork. Now, as I say, all we're going to do is we're going to put it, bring this back on. We're going to put it all into the mixture. So good old third round. That looks really as if it's stuck to the meat and it's going to do its job and marinate tonight. So it's all gone now. Just wipe my hands, excuse me if I bend down here. And then we're going to get a Ziploc bag. This is the sort of thing most supermarkets keep in. Good way of marinating, because it stops other things in your fridge smelling of whatever you're marinating and concentrates for marinating the actual meat itself. Again, what you want really. Somewhere, if they come with them, I cannot see them. Okay, it's useful. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. See that's all stuck, really clinging to the meat. Try and get this one up. I try and have it about once every 2 months or something like that through the barbecue season. It really is special. You'll know when you taste what I'm talking about. It's a hidden gem, as they say. Right. A bit quick to get because the rain looks like it's continuing. You can't see it on camera, but I don't think the camera equipment will have too much of it. And then the beauty of the bag as well is once you've got all the air out afterwards, you can get a good old marinade. That's it. So I'll bring it to the camera so you can see closely. It's all in the bag. So it's Moo Ping pork, spicy Moo Ping pork skewers. And so we'll do a part 2 where we barbecue it, and you can see how good it really is. So I'm going to wrap up the video because, as I said, it started raining quite badly here now, and things are getting wet outside. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and tune into part 2. As I say, I'll list all the ingredients at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hopefully more coming soon. Thanks. Bye for now.